Hey, y'all, welcome to a little visit to Ball Ground, Georgia, with a very, very special man that I think almost everybody in Ball Ground has figured out who you are. Can you please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about you?
My name is Matthew Bennett. I am a long-time child of the town of Ball Ground. I grew up here and lived here off and on my whole life. I'm 39 years old, shooting for 40, and a lover of Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. I met you maybe, 6 weeks ago when you were walking through town carrying something very special.
Yes,
Very, very special to a Christian. Tell me what you carry every day.
I have been toting a cross and bearing it for Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
uh, to show my love for him as well as his love for me and everybody else here on this earth, and as well as my love for mankind.
Mm-hmm. You know, Matthew, the one thing that we all are afforded is the gift of Jesus, and doesn't cost us anything. We don't have to
No,
fill out an application. We just have to ask Him and submit to Him. How
exactly.
easy is that?
It is not that easy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
uh, my thought on it is that there is a generational curse that separates us from getting in contact with God, and
Mm-hmm.
it could be lots of things: fear, uh, steps of rejection, or things that we carry as our own cloak, for say.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's been passed down ever since Adam and Eve.
Right, right. And sometimes a bit of stubbornness. Well, I can
Stubbornness,
handle it and I
yes.
can do it.
Yeah,
I've had a little of that stubbornness. Oh, I can handle it on my own. No, we can't.
I've
No, we
been a
can't.
very
Yeah,
stubborn individual.
yes, we're kidding ourselves. Now, when you started this path with that cross that weighs approximately 70 pounds, is that right?
No, it is
What does it weigh?
between 80 and 90 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow, wow. And it's made of what?
It's made of 4x6 pressure treated timbers.
Mm-hmm. And is that what adds the weight? Because would a different wood be lighter? Is it because it's pressure treated that it's so heavy?
Yeah, pressure treated and the size of the lumber makes a
Well, I
difference.
was going to ask you that. Did you choose that size lumber? Couldn't you have carried a smaller cross? Did you feel it necessary to carry that huge cross?
It's what he told me to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He told me how big he wanted it. He told me that I needed to do it because he has saved me from all sorts of things.
Yeah.
My life on multiple occasions, and he has forgiven me solely, and I know it
Mm-hmm.
within my heart and my
Yeah.
soul, which I felt undeserving of it, which it is unfavorable. Is what grace is unfavorable forgiveness.
Yeah.
So that means that it doesn't matter. It's not on a scale that he will forgive anybody and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 1 John or 1 John 1:9 that states that if we confess our sins, he is just and righteous to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness.
Mm-hmm.
Which that means that he wipes the slate clean every
Mm-hmm.
time we do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can we talk a little bit about your history? Did your mom look at you and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe my son is doing this"? Was she amazed at the turnabout in your life?
she when I told her what I was gonna do, she had the question of what? What do you mean? What do you? Why? Is
Yeah.
what she asked me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I told her why. Which my mom knows a lot about me,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, because she's seen me grow, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and there for a long time, she always was my rock, and still is. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't place as much of my thoughts and the things that I had experienced as far as hard times on her, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want her to have to bear the weight of worry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she lost a lot of sleep over the years on account of me.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. And you think about your mom, your dad, we all lose sleep over our children. We all worry. But you know, God is up all night long worrying about all his children.
he is.
And he is waiting for those who haven't come to him to just come to him.
Exactly.
And when you think about what you do, was it a 40-day, you did it for 40 days, and then did you stop?
I did for one day.
And how did that feel?
I felt relieved because I was tired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
you walk about 2.5 hours a day with 80 pounds on your back?
Well, it started off, it took me 3 hours the first day that I done it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was to walk 4 miles.
Mm-hmm. Carrying 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Of the cross of Jesus.
Yes. Wow. And it has gotten a lot easier. But I pray before I take each walk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for strength and for the Holy Spirit. And I want the eyes to see that it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's more than possible. And the purity of heart and the pureness of a heart is what makes God and his miracles what he is. And I can't even really find the words to really describe what he is and how good he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Webster just ain't got it.
Mm-mm. They do not. They do not.
No.
I think about the times in my life that it was God. It was God. There are times over and over that there's no other answer for why what happened happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's no answer for their survival. There's no answer for the change. There's no answer but God.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely. Now, do you now share when you're walking? Do you stop and tell people? Because the day I stopped and talked to you, I was thinking about a song that Hank Williams Sr. did many years ago called Your Burdens Are Greater.
Mm-hmm.
And your burdens may be greater than mine. My burdens may be greater than yours. But we all have burdens. Do people stop and talk to you about their burdens?
Some people do. There's been very few and in between that have stopped and said anything about most burdens. But the expression on a lot of people's face shows the burden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for many years, I was held down by my own burdens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I carried a lot of guilt, shame, and remorse over some of the actions that I had walked through, or being confused and not understanding why things was the way they was. And I mean, I got several stories that points to God. It's like I have a mentally disabled brother that has to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I help my mother take care of him today.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a young boy, my mom also raised cats, had a cattery, and she had dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't even, she was offering me a substantial amount of money for a young kid to go out here and clean piles of dung out of the yard.
And you didn't.
I got 1.5 piles.
Wow.
And I was, it turned my stomach, and I was puking and gagging. But today, it doesn't bother me. And it wasn't only that. I mean, I've had to work in a horse, out on farms, scooping poop.
Oh, yeah.
I worked at the chicken plant, and then finally got to where I went into live hang, and first bird pooped right in my face.
So you found a strength you didn't know you had.
I did.
Yeah.
God gave it to me.
Yeah. Now, the day that you found Jesus, can you describe a little bit about the difference in you? Was it an immediate difference? Did you immediately feel different? Did you say, this is what it's about? How did that feel for you?
To being saved is a feeling that is indescribable. Really, I mean, I felt warm and cold. It made me weep. It made me laugh. It brought me to my knees is what it did. I weep like a baby. And that's happened more than once that he has done this for me.
Did he make you feel loved?
He does. And he does on a day-to-day basis today. I can feel the presence of God in a day-to-day walk,
Mm-hmm.
because I know what He's done for me. Because my heart had been scattered all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
and He had gathered every one of them pieces and has mended it back together.
What about
I
that?
feel whole today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable in my own skin. As a matter of fact, I can feel them on me now.
Wow. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
It really is.
Now, did you look like you looked before you started being a Christian? Because you have the beard like Jesus, you have the hair like Jesus. Did you become, if I had met you 5 years ago, would you have looked the same?
5 years ago, I probably would have had more of a lower haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was a child, my hair was growed out, but it didn't lay down.
Mm-hmm.
I had a poofy head like a microphone.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And
Wow.
I done that for a little while, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually I cut it off, and then this is part of a fulfillment of a promise that I made to my father before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never seen my dad up until the day that about a couple months before he died. He always had long hair.
Wow.
He always had a beard down
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
hair halfway down his back.
Mm-hmm. Did your father get to see you as a Christian?
Not exactly, no. His death was rough on me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He got cancer, and within 4 or 5 months, it ate him alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out of town at the time, out in Charlotte, North Carolina, chasing ice storms, doing tree work. And I asked him before I left, I said, "You gonna be all right until I get back?" He says, oh yeah. He says, "You go ahead and go." Well, it wasn't 4 days. He done went from walking around to paralyzed and was in hospice at the hospital. So I rushed home. I went and seen him. They had him tied down to the bed, and he's flipping out. It was rough.
Sure it is. Sure it is. And you get through things like that because God is there for you.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
God is, the one that had showed me love and showed me a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the hardest things I've dealt with in life, which I've had to deal with what I thought was on my own, which is not the way I see it today. Because I know God was with me. When I couldn't walk, He carried me.
Mm-hmm.
When I stumble and I fall on my face, He picks me up, and He dusts this off my shoulder just a little bit. And then He's like, pats me on the back, gives me a hug, and tells me, go on.
You know what I was thinking about the first time I saw you walking carrying that cross? And I had a broken shoulder. Actually, it was totally dislocated from my body. It was horrible. And I remember the pain. And I thought that day, the next time I feel like whining about my shoulder and having a little bit of arthritis in it now, I'm going to slap myself, because your shoulder has to be the strongest shoulder I've ever seen. You are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder because you're carrying a cross.
It is, I can't really put the words into it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was rough, and to start off with, and I can't say that when I get done that it ain't sore, but I wake up in the morning and I get out of bed. I might be a little sore for 20, 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm in my 20s again.
Wow. Now, what about children? Do children stop and talk to you, and do they question, what is he doing?
I have seen a lot of children, younger children, and I can hear them from a distance be like, "Oh, look, he's carrying the cross." And I've had a couple people stop me, and one lady in particular, and said that her kids was saying, "Look, it's Jesus." Wow. And I was...
Wow. Now that, oh my gosh.
Man,
yeah.
it almost...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But He is inside you.
oh yes,
Yes.
He
Yeah.
is working in me and through me
Yeah.
in ways that I can't even wrap my head around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I
How many people do you think have come to know Him because of you?
have no idea.
Because even if one came to Him because of you,
It's
you've
worth it.
done your job.
Yes, it is worth it.
Yes. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Now we're approaching Easter. Is that a special time for you when you think about there is an empty tomb?
Yeah. I mean, Jesus conquered death.
Mm-hmm.
And He rose, and that is one of the ways into heaven. And that's part of the reason why I carry the cross, because I want awareness. Like I said, not only does He love everybody, but I have a genuine love for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I like everything everybody does, or I don't even like all the things I've done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that being said, if it can open the eye that somebody can seek out upon Jesus and build upon a personal relationship and believe that He carried and His blood was shed for all of our sins, that we had a way into heaven, and that He conquered the grave, means that we'll conquer the grave if we believe in faith.
That's right. You know, in today's world, we're seeing, I don't know how to explain it, because we grew up in a society that it was Sunday morning. Sunday, you go to church, then you have lunch with your family. Most businesses weren't open. It was very different. It was very different growing up when I did, because Sunday was a family day.
Yeah.
And sadly, most businesses are open now, and most people are working on Sunday. A lot of people work on Sunday.
Yeah.
So do you think we've gotten away from the family values that really made America as great as it was?
Family is important, and it speaks of it biblically. Honor your mother, honor your father, and that
Love thy neighbor.
love thy neighbor. Well, yeah, I was going to say that the first two commandments set the motion of all the rest of the commandments, which was love thy God with all your might and your soul, and eat the second one being love your neighbor as thyself. So if we're able to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put it like this. I believe that love is the most powerful thing there is.
I agree.
Period.
I agree.
I mean, it will always oversede anything that is going on. Is it always easy to do? For us humans, no. It really isn't. Because people want to hold grudges, or there's greed or entitlement or all these things that is of negative. Instead of being able to count upon the blessings and holding on to what love is all about. Because every bit of this out here, from, I mean, I can look at the trees, to the way the clouds form.
And this beautiful day we've been blessed with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even when it rains, it's still beautiful.
I was going to mention that because I came home from work one day and it was falling a flood, and you were walking carrying the cross. And I called some of my friends and I said, oh my God. I said, remember the man I told you about? I said, he's walking in the pouring down rain. And I thought, what a commitment. What a commitment.
Yeah, I've had to do that a couple times.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what about forgiveness? How do you feel about forgiveness? Did God forgive all of us for everything we've ever done? I think He did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And forgiveness that's something that I had to learn about forgiveness, is that, because it's always been easy for me to forgive other people. It has been my whole life. The one that was hard to forgive was myself. And it hit me one day that I'm sitting there not forgiving myself and thinking that I was forgiving others, or I was asking for forgiveness from God, but yet taking it back and holding on to it myself. So therefore, I wasn't forgiving anything.
Right.
I wasn't accepting the forgiveness of what grace is, what God's grace is really about. And like I say, the first 40 days of this walk, it was to draw an awareness, like I say, of my love for Him, His love for me, His love for you and everybody else, and my love for you and everybody else. So after them 40 days, I didn't go that next Friday. I didn't walk. Saturday morning, he told me to pick it up and walk again. I walked. A woman actually came to me and said that she had been crying for the last 3 days, carrying a burden, and been asking God to give her a sign. And then she sees me carrying this cross. Man, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, you have been. I think Ball Ground is a small community, and we all talk, and we all share stories, and we all share grief, we all share happiness, we all share everything. But I think you have formed something in Ball Ground that we never saw before. We all see each other differently now. We see ourselves as He sees us. Because you're just a guy. You're just a guy. But you forgive and you love and you unconditionally have made a commitment to bring Christ to everybody. Now that's pretty amazing. You're not a Baptist preacher, but I bet you like fried chicken. You like fried chicken?
I like fried chicken. I like food in general.
Yeah. So you've set out only basically to do as God commanded. Did you realize how many people you would touch? And did you think about, you've changed this whole town.
God has changed.
God has changed this town. You're right.
It's not me. I'm just the vessel.
You're right. You're right. Now, can I ask you a little bit about your mama? How's she doing health-wise?
She has up and downs. She's on oxygen all the time. I thought I was going to lose her back several months ago. It was rough. But she made it.
That's awesome.
God pulled her through.
Yeah.
You
see that sign up there? It says, God knew my heart needed you. I bet God knew that your heart needed your mama. Yeah. Now, what about your special needs brother? Tell me about that. How does she handle that?
She's been taking care of him practically her whole life. But like I say, I don't know, I guess about off and on for about the last 3 years. One day, out of nowhere, she called me into the bedroom. She's like, look, I want to show you how to do this.
In case something happened to her.
In case something happened and it needed to be done. She's like, here, I want you to do this. I was like, no. I don't. I said, if the time comes, I'll do it then. Well, it was in a week, maybe 2 weeks, that time come. And, it's an every day thing. It has to be done. So today I get him up for school, get him ready. He goes to a learning center. He comes home. My mama's boyfriend might as well be her husband. He's been around for the last 20 years. So he gets him off the bus, or if I'm not there, he steps in and tries to do what needs to be done. And I'm grateful for that as well. But my brother is 33 years old. So he's stout as an ox. It's surprising considering that his arms ain't no bigger around than, a little more than a 50-cent piece.
And as a mom, the love of a mother never goes away. So your brother, your mother could have said, oh my gosh, I've been cursed, I've been burdened, I've been this, but she's taken it on and she has done her job. She's done her job. And without God, she couldn't have done that job. No, she couldn't have done it.
No, my mom tells me, which I've never been to church with my mother. I was never made to go to church. I can't even say that I go to church today,
Mm-hmm.
but I do talk with God.
Mm-hmm.
I do read His Word, and I do try to show kindness in my walk today, and that's with everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
People ask me how I'm doing. Used to it be all right, or I'm okay, or this and that and the other. But today I'm blessed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm loved and I'm forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is the way that I start my day.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes my day just way off on a better start. And,
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And I see your eyes are so, it's almost like your eyes are, I'm a happy soul. You know how you look in some people's eyes and they look like they are Satan possessed.
Yeah.
Your eyes just look like you are a happy soul.
I am.
And I said, to me, that is just the sweetest statement to be able to look in your eyes and see just kindness.
Yeah. Well, my eyes are blue. Are supposed to be blue.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking in the mirror, and to the best of my knowledge, I see a lot of yellow here lately. And it's God is what it is. Wow. He does. He continues to hug my heart and my soul, and I know only a piece of what it really is, but I feel it. I feel it today.
And if everybody could just say kindness and forgiving and knowing that God's grace is here for all of us. That's all it takes. And turn that bitterness around. And I know you've been through so much, but you've come so far. And now it's almost like you're starting a leadership of a village. Because Ball Ground is just a little village of people.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about that guy with the cross. That guy with the cross. And they're also talking about that guy with the cross has something on his mind and his heart that he wants to share. And I'm so glad that we were able to do that today. I hope that our viewers will continue to watch you. And if folks are coming to Ball Ground and they have a question, they want to stop and talk to you,
Feel free to.
Yeah, that would be so cool. That would be so cool because people just don't understand. As we approach Easter, it's all about that cross and it's all about that empty tomb.
It is.
And I think it's a perfect time for people to really get to know you. And again, thank you for what you do. Thank you for bringing awareness. Thank you for bringing our community closer together. And thank you for sharing the love of Jesus.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
Thank you so
God.
much. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.